Bingo has a stomachache. The memory box. A quiet afternoon. A small box sits in the center of the table. A handwritten label on the outside reads, Memories. Dad looks around and gently opens a drawer. He takes out an old key, worn by time. Smiling softly, he places it into the box. Mom stands by the shelf. She takes a neatly folded old photograph, gently smooths the corner, then places it into the box. Sister runs back to her room. She brings out a slightly worn hair ribbon. She looks at it for a moment longer, then puts it in. Little brother quietly bends down to the floor. He picks up a small scratched toy, nods to himself, and places it into the box. The whole family sits in a circle. The box is placed in the middle. Dad opens the lid. The first item is taken out. Everyone looks at each other, pointing, guessing. As each item appears, surprise gestures, soft nods, gentle laughter. As the items are laid back on the table, the family sits closer together. Bluey and Bingo embark on a new treasure hunt. According to the map, the treasure is right here. But the treasure hasn't appeared yet. The whole family starts to doubt the map. Bingo discovers a very small detail. The treasure was never buried in the ground. The treasure was hidden right in front of them. Sometimes, treasure is closer than we think. Night camping. Late afternoon, still bright daylight. The family loads camping gear into the car. Tent, bags, flashlight. The kids bounce excitedly. Dad gives a confident thumbs up.
Let's go!
Mom smiles. Dad and Mom set up the tent. The kids help hold poles and pegs. The tent is finally finished. The sky turns dark. The forest becomes quiet. Leaves rustle in the wind. The kids press close to Mom and Dad. Dad swallows nervously. Mom looks around, uneasy. A small noise from the bushes. Everyone freezes. Dad switches on the flashlight. Its beam shakes. Just a bug. No danger. But nobody relaxes. The family looks at each other. Mom gently shakes her head. Dad nods very quickly. The kids immediately run back toward the car. The tent stands alone behind them. The fish tank mistake. A fish tank sits neatly on a table. The fish swim happily. Dad sprinkles fish food carefully, nodding with satisfaction. Dad feeds the fish. Fish swim up excitedly. The kids press their faces to the glass, pointing. One day, Dad is busy. Mom picks up a white container that looks like fish food. Mom pours it into the tank. The water turns cloudy. Mom looks at the container again. Salt. Mom's eyes widen. The whole family springs into action. Dad gently moves the fish into a temporary bowl. Mom drains the tank. The kids carry buckets of water very seriously. Music speeds up slightly. Fresh water is poured in. The filter turns on. The fish are carefully returned to the tank. Everyone leans in, holding their breath. The fish start swimming again, happy and lively. The kids jump with joy. Dad exhales in relief. Mom smiles awkwardly and pats her chest. Covering the roof to avoid the rain afternoon. Mom looks up at the sky, raises her hand to feel the wind. A raindrop lands on her hand. Mom turns toward the yard, signaling urgently. Dad runs to the shed, pulling out a large tarp. The wind grows stronger. Leaves rustle loudly. Dad spreads the tarp over the items in the yard. Flap! A strong gust lifts the tarp up. Dad holds one corner of the tarp. Mom grips the other corner. Sister jumps onto a chair, pulling the tarp edge down. Little brother presses hard on the lowest corner. The tarp billows like a sail. Everyone sways, but keeps holding on. Rain starts pouring down. Water slides off the tarp, streaming down in lines. Items are dry. Plant pots are safe. Chairs are fully covered. Everyone sighs in relief.
Donut mission. This is the last donut, and here are two experts at handling sweets, Bluey and Bingo. Approaching the target, stealthily, the agents are calculating their trajectory. But wait, Chief Rhino is patrolling the living room area. We've been found. Find a place to hide. Officer Rhino is a seasoned investigator. Nothing escapes his notice. The suspect is on the run. The chase begins. The speed is dizzying. Bluey and Bingo are running at a considerable pace, but the police officer is not lagging behind. It's a dead end. Bluey and Bingo have been cornered. It's time to hand over the evidence. The law always prevails. Oh, his stomach is rumbling louder than a police siren. It seems the policeman is starving too. A sweet truce was established. The case is closed. Everyone is happy and everyone is full.
The balancing act. Bluey spots a bird perched on the fence and decides to challenge herself with a little balancing game. She slowly lifts one leg, arms out wide, trying to keep her body as still as a statue. But balancing is harder than it looks. Bluey begins to wobble and her little legs start to shake. Dad Bandit notices and steps right beside her. He circles his hands around her, creating a silent safety zone. Seeing her dad's hands nearby, Bluey feels a surge of confidence. She takes a deep breath and regains her focus. Thanks to the silent support, Bluey holds her balance longer than before. She feels strong and very capable. Lost together, found together. avoid the rain afternoon. Mom looks up at the sky, raises her hand to feel the wind. A raindrop lands on her hand. Mom turns toward the yard, signaling urgently. Dad runs to the shed, pulling out a large tarp. The wind grows stronger. Leaves rustle loudly. Dad spreads the tarp over the items in the yard. Flap! A strong gust lifts the tarp up. Dad holds one corner of the tarp. Mom grips the other corner. Sister jumps onto a chair, pulling the tarp edge down. Little brother presses hard on the lowest corner. The tarp billows like a sail. Everyone sways, but keeps holding on. Rain starts pouring down. Water slides off the tarp, streaming down in lines. Items are dry. Plant pots are safe. Chairs are fully covered. Everyone sighs in relief.
Shooting star. The night has fallen. Bluey and Bandit settle down for a quiet evening on the veranda after a long day of play. Bluey gazes up at the twinkling stars, and suddenly she points an excited finger towards the sky. A brilliant, swift streak of light, a shooting star, flies across the dark night sky. Both dad and daughter watch it pass. Bluey turns to look at her dad, her eyes wide with surprise and a little bit of wonder. Bandit gently pulls Bluey into a warm hug. Bluey closes her eyes, keeping her silent wish completely private. She opens them, giving a look of pure contentment. Bandit tightens his hug, savoring the special moment.